the early spring season hunting the Osceola with Danny SantAngelo of Okeechobee Outfitters. And let me tell you, this guy is the epitome of a guide and an outfitter. He's a student of the sport, a student of his turkeys. He not only knows where they are, he has a pretty good idea of just where they want to go. Well, along with us this week, Steve Bartkoski. As many of you know, #1 draft choice of the Atlanta Falcons back in 1975, and he was with them for 10 years. He's a great guy. He's a guy that is really personified by what he wants to put back and give back to young people. And you're going to find that he's an expert hunter, and we're going to see his hunt.
6 years old, I knew what I wanted to do with my life. I knew I wanted to be an athlete. Shared that dream with my dad at that point.
When I told him that's what I wanted to do with my life, you know, he kind of gave me one of those head shakers, like, son, you don't know how tough that is. He said, but I'll help you, you know. And really the best coach I've ever had, you know, to this day is my pop. But, you know, the athletic highs, I was first pick in the draft in 1975, and, you know, it was a culmination of that dream. And, you know, football is the ultimate team game, and if you have it going on, it's a lot of fun. But I'll tell you what, if you don't, and I had a lot of years where I was wondering, man, well, how much longer is left in this season? You know, they just drug on. It was tough. You know, the highs you get out and running out, you know, through the tunnel on a Sunday afternoon in front of 75,000 people is just, you know, it's almost incomparable. But the moments that I remember the most, I couldn't tell you about 10 football games I played in. The moments I remember the most is hunting with my kids. You know, just I can remember the first turkey my youngest boy ever shot at. You know, he was about, you know, had one of those little youth model 870 Remington pumps, you know, and the old turkey was coming in just like you read about, you know. He got about 15, 20 yards out there, and I said, Pete, you need to go ahead and take him. So he ended up shooting, and just that turkey just ran off. He just, you know, didn't break stride. I said, buddy, I said, what happened? He said, well, Dad, he ducked. when you got those kind of memories, you know, those are hard to forget.
We got the phone call for Rob this year, and he said our special guest was going to be Steve Bartkoski from the Atlanta Falcons. Well, we all really got excited and got our game plan together.
Never been turkey hunting in Florida. I'm telling you what a great setting. All these beautiful live oaks with Spanish moss and all the palmetto bushes, and I mean, it's just a terrific setting. And where we're setting up has been scouted out by our outfitter, Danny SantAngelo, and he tells me there's lots of longbeards there. And I'm looking forward to closing the deal on my Grand Slam. Got there, got set up. I mean, we had a perfect little ground blind built. It was just awesome. I mean, yeah, kind of got tucked away in that, and turkeys gobbled pretty good on the roost, but they were 700-800 yards away. Flew down, got quiet like they will do, you know, and from time to time, you know, you're tempted to get up and run and gun. I kind of looked at Danny and he said, no, let's just stay put here a minute. Sure enough, here comes a bird, you know, just trucking, coming toward us, and come, you know, two more right behind him, and that first bird came right to the fence line, and I guess he kind of looked over his shoulder. I guess he was tired of getting his rear end kicked by those other two birds that were on the way, so he sort of turned and went down the fence line, didn't come to the decoys. one on the right. One coming under first. Say when. Which one? Okay. Wait. Stay on the one on the right. You know, they turned and they went from the shade to the sun, and all of a sudden every color in the rainbow, you know, the spectrum, the colors as we know it, became just brilliantly and vibrantly alive. You know, they just turned almost iridescent. It was just so spectacular. As a matter of fact, I mean, I was almost so awestruck that pulling the trigger was an afterthought. You know, I mean, I had enough right there. If they would have just gone away at the end of that deal, that would have been fine for me. It would have been an incredible day in the woods.
Well, that's like you read about on the pages of Field and Stream, isn't it?
I'm gonna tell you what, I thought I was gonna have to move my feet so the turkeys didn't run me over. I mean, Rob had them in my lap. And, you know, again, just the perfect weather, the perfect day. I mean, closed out my Grand Slam, got my Osceola bird, and I'm just thrilled to death. What a great way to kick off turkey season.
The truth is, I think that when guys get a feel of what it's like, what we've been able to experience since we've been here, like pulling the trigger and closing the deal is the littlest, smallest part of the fulfillment that I get. It's watching the sunrise. It's being with buddies like you. It's being able to watch those turkeys just get, you know, jump on one another, you know, to get to those decoys. It's just watching all that and just kind of blending into the landscape and enjoying all that God created. You know, I used to close my show by saying, you know, it's not the catch or the kill that really makes for the great outdoor experience, but rather just the chance to be out here and enjoy all that God's given us to enjoy.